Welcome to day 3 of the 31-day October Horror Movie Challenge, and today's film is the very first Halloween. John Carpenter is my favorite filmmaker of all time. This is on my top 5 favorite films of all time. My favorite slasher, one of the greatest films ever made, and again, I love 70s cinema. Michael Myers is my favorite slasher character. Why? Most slashers really don't have a persona. For him, it's just, cold-blooded killing, which of course changes in the later sequels, which we'll definitely get to over the next few days. The score is one of the greatest film scores of all time. Has a great final girl and a great supporting cast of characters that Michael does pick off throughout the film. I do have a Michael Myers mask that might be sacrilegious, but I did paint it to look like the Joker. I did a Joker / Michael Myers Halloween costume a few years ago, and I just have plenty of Michael Myers stuff as I own already. First time I saw this, yet again, super young. My birthday is in October, so I think having that connected a lot with my love of the holiday Halloween, which of course translated into this film, which, translated into horror in general. The amount of times I've watched this, I probably do watch it yearly. The sequels, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't watch them yearly. It really depends on how I'm feeling around this time of year. Even if I wasn't watching it during the 31 days, I would still watch this yearly. It is a masterpiece. Pretty much without this, I do think most of the slasher films would change. Granted, there was, Black Christmas beforehand, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Psycho, but this really set the template for having a list of victims, having a final girl, having a faceless killer. Of course, Freddy Krueger comes along and adds in humor, which translates over to, Chucky. Of course, Chucky also had his own little bit of humor in the original anyhow. But still, it's like, this is definitely the trailblazer, more so than Black Christmas, in my opinion. Psycho argument could be made. But of course, it does have, a mother-daughter relationship between the two films, so that's fucking awesome. And Carpenter is highly influenced by the work of Hitchcock. And there's also definitely a lot of Brian De Palma influence in here, which is great to see because De Palma is highly underrated when it comes to horror filmmaking. A lot of people, their epitome of John Carpenter film is They Live, which I do love, but doesn't get any better than this here. And I will be going through the various canons over the next few days because there are definitely a lot of those. And Michael Myers did participate in a tournament earlier today on my podcast, The Outlaw Mud Show Drive-In. We did have a horror movie 64-man tournament. Next week will be the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals. That will be uploaded later today. It might be before this is uploaded, it might be after, but definitely check for that. And if you do enjoy wrestling podcasts, check us out anyhow. If you don't, check us out just for, the horror stuff.